Hey guys, welcome back to Wixfix. I hope you're having a fantastic day. In today's video, I wanted to create a little update video for hover interactions inside of Editor X. Not only will I be showing you how to use them, but I'm also going to be showing you some cool things you can do with them. Now there are infinite ways to use hover interactions, so by no means am I showing you everything that you can do with them, but it should give you inspiration or ideas for how you can apply them to your own website. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that I want to do is create a cool hover interaction for the menu for this nice little website. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is go open up the menu lightbox. And we're going to notice that there is this menu right here. That's a vertical menu. Now I'm just going to go ahead and delete this because we are going to be creating our own. So the first thing I want to do is just drag out this container right here. And basically what this is going to provide us with a structure for adding hover interactions. If we just pull out a button to our page, you're going to notice that we cannot apply a hover interaction to this button alone. However, if we put this button into a container, then in the container, we can actually add a hover interaction to it. So basically what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to style this container box to have no background. Then for this button, I'm going to go ahead and set this to 100% width of this container box. And we're going to make sure it is centered. And while we're here, we'll go ahead and style it as well. For the theme, let's go ahead and choose something like heading 2. So it's going to be kind of large. And then we're also going to go ahead and remove the background color. And we're going to change the font color to like a gray like this, maybe a little bit darker. And then on hover, we're going to want to do the same exact thing. However, for the color, we're going to do like this purple. And of course, we're going to remove the background as well. Next thing I want to do is just copy and paste this button inside. And we're going to go ahead and center it just like we did with the other button. However, for this button design, let's just go ahead and change the regular font color to this purple as well. So now what we can do with the container selected is create a hover interaction. Now inside of this, nothing is actually going to happen yet. But if we select custom interactions, it's going to give us a bunch of different options. And you're also going to notice that there is this top bar up here that is going to allow us to switch from hover to the initial state. Now for hover, what I want to do is go into the layers panel. I'm going to grab the background button and we're going to go ahead and translate this to negative 150 pixels. Maybe that's a little too much, maybe a negative 100. And then we're also going to go ahead and skew it by like 50, something kind of crazy. Next thing I want to do is go ahead and switch over to the initial state. And I want to grab this top button. And what I want to do with this one is translate it down 100 pixels. And I want to skew this 50 pixels as well. Or maybe we can do negative 50. We'll see how that looks. Now, if we go ahead and press done and press preview, here is what we're going to see. It's going to look something like that, which doesn't look right? So what we want to do is go back to edit site. So in order to fix that, what we're going to do is grab this container. We're going to go to overflow content and we're going to set this from show to hide. Okay. Now, if we go ahead and preview the site, here's what we're going to see. And now if a user hovers over it, we're going to have this nice little transition effect happen when the user scrolls over this specific button. And of course, we can just copy and paste it, put one underneath it, of course, change to the links and change the button text. And we can just do this a couple more times until we have a full menu. And then we can just grab all three of these and press stack. And if we select the items in the stack, we can also distribute vertically so that the spacing is even between each item. And then here we will have a nice little menu that people can kind of scroll through, and it gives a nice little effect. And for this next thing, I just want to add a new page. On this page, we're going to do a different type of hover interaction. So what we're going to do is pull out this repeater, just like this. Let's go ahead and stretch it to the full width of the screen. And we're also going to go ahead and remove the background color. Now for this one, let's go ahead and set a border of 2 pixels. And then we're also going to go ahead and set the roundness to like 12. Now we can't see the border yet because I haven't turned on the opacity, but let's go ahead and turn it down to maybe 25%, something like that. Now I actually don't want this repeater to be completely full screen, so we're just going to select the repeater and press unstretch. And I think 70% looks really good right there. Perfect. And then inside of here, I do want to set some margins of like 10 pixels, something like that. I think that spacing between the items looks a little bit better. But now what I want to do is just go ahead and we're just going to add an image to this repeater. We're going to stretch it. For this image, we're also going to go ahead and add 12 pixels of radius to the corners. The next thing I want to do is go ahead and add a title. We're going to go ahead and center this up just like this. And then I also want to go ahead and add an icon to it as well. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and grab both the icon and the text. We're going to stack it. And then we're also going to center the stack inside of the repeater, just like that. So I know you can't really see this right now, but in just a second, you're going to see why. The next thing I want to do is use the breadcrumbs to grab the item. Then we're going to come over to hover interactions, add hover interactions, and we're going to customize the interaction. So what I want to do is on hover, I want this basic shape to go negative 100 pixels, and I want the opacity to be set to 0. Then for this text element, we're going to go ahead and set 100 pixels, so it's going to go down. And then we're also going to set the opacity to 0. So basically all we're going to see here is the image. But now I want to go to the initial state and I want to set the image opacity to 0. So now we should have something that looks like this. So as soon as you hover, we have this nice little effect like this. Now, maybe I translated the icon and the text a little too much. Maybe 50 pixels instead of 100 would have made it look more subtle. But I do think that this is a really cool effect that you can apply to your websites. But that basically wraps it up for the video today, guys. If you guys did learn something, please consider giving this video a like and consider subscribing for more Wix and EditorX content coming out really soon. Thank you all again, and I'll see you all in the next one.